Hi, my name is Brian, and I am your instructor, your professor for this spring-summer semester of Intro to Photoshop. I am the lead faculty of Media and Communication Arts and have been there for a long time. Media and Communication Arts has industry partners that hire students before they even graduate. So we're going to go through a journey this semester, beginning with the first day handout and this movie, but we're going to go through a journey this semester of how to prepare yourself, how you and I and the rest of the MACA faculty will interact to create your good or great portfolio package. And we will go through a whole process that sometimes isn't just pinned down to grades. Sometimes it is based on trial and error. Sometimes it's do it over again until you get it right. And that's really what I'm all about. And I wanted you to hear that right away because that is important to me. So I'm probably going to repeat myself 100 times. You won't have to see my FaceTime face in every movie. I just wanted you for this very first movie and this introduction movie to kind of see who you're dealing with. And let's go through the first day handout together. So I'll either cancel this FaceTime in a minute, or I'll just turn it off or something. But here is the first day handout that will be available on Canvas, and hopefully I'm going to try to send out another email. I tried to email it to you today, which is Friday, the 19th of May. So I'm going to enlarge this and let's go through this first day handout, okay? So the first day handout is just an opening page, and then you please can read this opening paragraph as it goes through the set of paragraphs welcoming you. But let's get right to the information. So let me zoom in. The information of this class, and the important part of this class, is that I need you right away to be to have Adobe Photoshop on your computer. So whether you can get, and see here it says the software is Adobe Photoshop, CS6 is okay, but preferably you can get the CC version of 2017. And you can purchase it directly through Adobe. And I'm going to bring up two links here. This first link will take you right to this student and teacher pricing page for Adobe, and you can actually get it for $19 a month. And after you're done with it, after the month and a half to 2 months, you can cancel it, okay, if you want to. I don't believe you will want to, but that's the best way. It's even better than trying to do this class on a trial version, okay? So let me just click back to the Acrobat page here. And you can also get it through Journey Ed. So I'll click to Journey Ed, but it's not the best source. You should keep Journey Ed as a bookmark because you can get a lot of really cool things on Journey Ed. But you can get the Creative Cloud. You can actually buy the whole thing for $599. Or for you guys, it's $228.95. But I'm just going to say that the Adobe site and being part of Adobe is really cool because not only can you get the cloud and all the software that comes with Adobe from Illustrator and InDesign and Muse, which is the new Flash, and Dreamweaver, and all of the applications, After Effects, which I do very well on. You can also download many things that come with the Adobe license, which are plugins and a whole bunch of really cool stuff like templates and everything. But anyway, let's go back to the Acrobat page. Of course, I want you to make a Dropbox.com account, which you are going to have as a backup in case Canvas fails, or when this class is over. And you'll understand why I want to stay connected with you when this class is over, because I'm actually one of the teachers or the lead teacher to set up your portfolio all the way through your tenure as a MACA student. But let's click on the Dropbox page. please make yourself a Dropbox.com account, first, last name, email, password. And then when you do that, you can actually, I'll sign in. If I can do it real fast, I'll hit something so you don't see what I'm typing on the screen, but I will sign in here, and let me just sign in to Sorial B. It should be right there. And I'm going to hit a button right now, and then I'll be back in a second. Okay, I'm into Dropbox right now, and the way that it'll happen is when you get onto Dropbox, you won't have any folders here. So you'll go over here to the sharing part. You'll click sharing, okay? And in sharing, you will make a new folder. See over here on the right, it says create a new shared folder. You're going to create a new shared folder, and then I'm not going to go this far, but I'm going to go one more step past this. But it said I'd like to create and share a new folder. So you're going to go next. And then you would actually name your folder with your name, okay? And then down here, all you have to do is put in Sorial B, SAURIOLB, at macomb.edu, and then you're going to have a folder on your desktop, just like I have a folder on mine. I'm going to hit the X key here. I'm going to minimize this screen. I'm going to minimize this screen, and then I'm going to go over to here to my Dropbox folder. And you see how I have all of these Dropbox folders from my students? Well, when a student like Travis or Megan actually want to get a new file, they just drop a file into their Megan folder, and then I instantly have it on this machine, which is very cool. So that's how we can communicate after the semester is over, or if Canvas is down. Okay, so let's go back to Acrobat, if this is it here, and let's continue. So you know that I'm Brian, and here's my email address. This is my office hour number, 7221. I am somewhere in here. I'll show you in a few seconds how I actually include my cell phone for a reason. But I'm going to be online pretty much Monday through Thursday, Friday too, but I just put Monday through Thursday from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. But if you send me an email, I'm going to try to respond to you within 24 hours, most likely sooner. And the neat part about it is when you send me files that you're having problems with through Canvas, I'm going to send you a quick movie, like a fix movie, right back. So it's like I'm going to be right in the classroom with you, okay? This important date thing here is just the first day of class is obviously Monday the 22nd. Don't forget that the last day for a full refund is 1 week from that point, as May 28th. Memorial Day, there's no school. Obviously, we're online, so that really doesn't matter. Independence Day, which is July 4th, there is no school. Last day to withdraw. If you're having problems in the class and you are a few assignments behind, talk to me first before you withdraw, okay? Because I set things up with students and to work even after the semester is over. It's not exactly an incomplete, but I'll talk to you about it later through emails, and I'll let you know what I'm talking about. But that day is Saturday, July 1st. So don't, if you really have to withdraw, do it on or before Saturday, July 31st. Last day of the semester is July 15th, and of course that's when the whole semester is over if you have other classes in MACA. So the course description, the course objectives are pretty standard. We're going to use YouTube videos, online tutorials, PDFs, class discussion, and video tutorials. Obviously, your attendance is going to be reflected through Canvas. I'll know when you're on. I'll know when you're putting files and submitting files to me. All I want to say is please devote enough time to get stuff done, because you're going to see in a few seconds how some of the other students, I'll show you some of their projects, and I'll show you the projects you're going to do in this class when we get to the assignments section, that you're just going to want to be a part of this. Photoshop is so cool. And once you review my portfolio site, which I just sent an email out earlier today, so please go to see Brian Sorial's introduction movie, and you'll see my career and what I've done and what I can do digitally and traditionally. Communicate with me through Canvas. If Canvas is down or you need to talk to me otherwise, send an email, send an email to sorialb@macomb.edu, okay, right there, send that right to there. And I'll respond within, like I said, at most 48 hours, but most likely quicker. Now here's what I want you to see, and I'm going to zoom in. This is my cell phone. Please do not share it with anybody, and please do not call it. Okay? Send me a text if you're having issues. Tell me who you are, because I don't know who you will be by your number. But don't call it unless you and I need to speak. But if you're having an emergency, and whatever emergency it is, and you feel you need to speak with me, and if you're panicking, text me. I'll call you back, okay? But please don't share this number with anybody, and just act maturely with it, okay? Thank you. You can contact me, as you say, please read this, academic honesty. I'm not going to go through that. ADA compliance, you can click and see what these things are on the Macomb Student Handbook. Let's go through the duration of this course. You're going to have 11 instructional modules, and you'll see what I mean, what a module is in a few minutes, okay? 8 are mandatory. So you're going to do 8 assignments over 8 weeks, basically, okay? So we'll get there in a minute. And then there's stuff for extra credit. Some of you have never been in Photoshop. Some of you have a lot of experience in Photoshop. So I think I've dealt with both of you pretty darn well. Okay, so let's see. If you're having problems with Canvas, call this number immediately right here. This 877-362-2662. You can email them, but I would call that number. Let's get right down into guidelines for a successful online experience. We're obligated to put all this in here, but I'm going to get past it and go right into the grading policies. Assignments are worth 60 points. Discussion boards are 8. Surveys are 2 for a total of 70 points. Now let's get to the assignment breakdown. Okay. For the 16-week class, I have 12 assignments. For the 8-week class, I've broken it down into these 8 assignments, which I'll go through with you, okay, as best I can, all right? Meaning I'm going to stop this movie after I'm done the handout. Then I'm going to go into Canvas and show you guys how to log on to Canvas and what the modules are all about and where each of these assignments is and how you deal with getting all the material for these assignments, and then where you submit the assignment to me. And then there's other very important things like assignment due dates, which I want you to understand where I am coming from, okay? Because I don't think you can guess where I'm coming from, all right? I am not project driven. I am portfolio driven. Can I just say that? And then we'll leave that open for a few minutes or until you watch the next movie. So the assignments are worth these points. The points add up to 60. Discussion boards for each assignment are 8 points. Then there's a survey I want you to definitely do. It's mandatory to do the mid-semester and final survey. And then I give 30 extra credit points. So if we go over here, if you get 67 to 70 points, you have an A. But if you're worried or focused about getting an A, B, or a C, I want you to refocus yourself. If I ask you to do one thing over again, don't care. Just do it over again. Because you want it right. I know you want it right. And sometimes doing something over again, you get this incredible thing that happens. Number one, you do it faster. Number two, you do it better. So it's not about assignments. Please, yes, there's 8 assignments here. All right? But really, what this stuff teaches you is layer masking, selections, layers, paths, how to deal with all the tools that are in Photoshop that are so powerful. Watch my Brian Storial introduction movie and you'll see what I'm talking about some of the artwork that can be created, okay? Okay, so let's go here to the weekly schedule. For each week, you're going to see that, like for this week, week 1 is the web page asset. I would like you to turn it in by Sunday. If you email me and tell me you're having a problem, I won't do this. I'm going back up here. Point deduction. Late assignments. 1 point per day unless, in red, you request more time prior. I don't care, basically, about the deadline. I care that, like if I owned a studio and you were my employee and you were having issues, you would talk to me, right? Right? If I was your boss, I would understand if you had family issues or work issues. So let's work together to make a successful Photoshop artist. Let's not be so consumed with you getting it done by Sunday. If you need till Monday or Tuesday, just email me and tell me. If you need till the following week, just email me and tell me, okay? In Canvas, I've made all the due dates July 15th. Why? you will find out why. Okay, I would like you to stay on schedule. So if you start the photographic retouch at the beginning of week 2, I think you should try to turn it in by the end of week 2, and so on, all the way down to image manipulation, 3D texture, caricature, organic, I'm in week 6, hard object, and the final tear sheet. Now I've created a little folder right over here to show you what some of this stuff is. Okay, so sometimes I'm going to open Photoshop, sometimes I'm just going to open an image, but let's go back up here. Look what I'm doing. I'm going to move this over. Let's go back up here to week 1. So you can see how I'm in the web page asset. So I'm going to open up right over here 2 images, 2 things. Okay, so this one is going to be the way it's supposed to look. When I opened up the wrong one, actually. Let me close this one. I had a 50-50 chance and I opened up the wrong one. So let me go here. Oh, sorry. It's here. This is what you're going to turn in. You're going to turn in this with this populated. You're not going to really have it work like I am. This is called an overstate or a rollover. And if I click this, it actually goes to this page. And if I go back, and I show you how to do that. So some of you who want to go farther, all you're going to be required to do is to turn in the Photoshop version of this, not the browser version. So I guide you through. You're going to create Photoshop. All these buttons are going to be on a layer. You're going to create a Photoshop JPEG and give it to me, or the PSD file and give it to me, and that's it. You're done. Now, I also show through my movies on YouTube how to take it to this extent. So let me close this and let's go to see that I've taken it to this extent. Okay, so I've shown all of my material inside of here, and not all of this clicks still, only this one clicks. But at least I'm showing you what the rollovers look like. And then I show you how to go into Dreamweaver and actually make this work. So your buttons will work like my buttons. That's not what you have to do, it's what you can do. So just please watch the tutorial movie for the very first week and you'll understand, okay, that it's a lot more simple, and each one is pretty simple. So let me close this. Let's go into the next one. So the next one, which is week 2, is the photographic retouch right here. So there's photographic retouch. Let's click back to this and let's see the photographic retouch. Whoops. Let me close the Dropbox one and let me go to this one. And then let me pull this down so I can keep on clicking it. Okay. So the next one is this one, and here is the original, and here, I'm sorry, there's the original, and here is what I did right here. So here's the original, and here's what you're going to do. Notice all the blemishes and the shine are off his face. Notice how nice that looks. So you're going to learn how to retouch and make something, you know, make a photograph look through the tools that Photoshop offers. You're going to turn it into that. So that's all of week 2. That won't take you long, I promise. So now week 3. Here is what you start with week 3. You don't have to do the Jeep I give you, but you're going to take a Jeep. I'm going to teach you how to cut out the Jeep so it looks like this. Now I also show you how to turn from one color to another color, because I can make this any color I want very quickly in Photoshop by sliding a hue and saturation bar across the page. You'll see how easy. Then you're going to put it into an ad. So you're actually going to take that Jeep, put it into a background that looks like this, or any background that you want. Okay, and then you're going to add text to it and it becomes a great portfolio piece. So that Jeep was never on that mountain. Okay, I made it on that mountain. That mountain had just nothing on it. In fact, this mountain actually had a guy on it, and I show you how to actually take the guy out through a Photoshop tool. But anyway, let's go to the next assignment just to see what it looks like. We're going to go to image manipulation. I'm sorry, the Jeep was the image manipulation. Let's go to the 3D texture. So far I've shown you the web page, the photographic retouch, and the Jeep, or the image manipulation. Let's go to 3D texture. So I click back here and I'll go to the original brick texture for the 3D texture. This is so I give you this file in the assets. You're going to take this graffiti, you're going to cut it out and put it on a wall just like this. And then I wanted you to see how cool Photoshop is really quickly. So I'm going to open this up in Photoshop. I'm quickly going to hit the F key to expand it to full screen, and then don't memorize this, but I'm going to go to the Move tool. I'm going to click on this layer right here that I'm turning off and on right there. See it right there? And I'm going to move that around the screen, and through a nice little trick, the mortar that this was painted on stays put. See how I can put that anywhere on the wall that I want? That's a beautiful part of Photoshop. So I'm just going to close that and not save it, and let's go to the next assignment. So the next assignment is the caricature assignment for week 5. You're going to take any person you want. I took Will Smith. Look what I did with Will Smith. I took this background, I took Will Smith, I brought him into Photoshop just like this, cut him out through a really quick thing. I'll go ahead and tell you it's through channel mask, okay? But don't remember that. It's be very simple once you get to it. And then I actually distorted him using some of the things that Photoshop offers. So that's called the caricature. Then I put him into a background, and I took hue and saturation and an overlay, and I made him look like he was supposed to be in the background. So that's a caricature of Mr. Will Smith. So let's take this and shoot this down, and let's go to the next one. So in the organic object, I teach you how to use, if you can, a Wacom tablet. You don't have to, but this is what I started with. Just a picture of an apple. Okay, that's a real picture of a real apple. I turned it into a painting. So this is through layers. You can see with the texture, this is what Photoshop can do. Okay, and that's what you will do. And in a few minutes, I'm going to show you what some of the other students have done through a little kind of a little portfolio thing. Okay, then the next one, you take an iPhone and not just, let me go to the next one. It's the hard object, which is the iPhone. You choose whatever iPhone you want. So it's specific to you. You don't have to do the one that I choose. And you will see when you get there. Then I take a background like this or a background like this. And I take it and I put it and I paint it. So I took that iPhone, and that iPhone is purely painted. It's not a photograph. And you will learn how to do that, and watch when I show you in a few seconds what other students have done. Now, you can see how I just can shift the inside on the iPhone. So now let's turn this off, and let's go to the tear sheet. So the tear sheet's just a culmination sheet. I'll double click it so you can see what the tear sheet looked like. And let me hit Command 0 to put it on full screen. It's just with your logo, and it just is a culmination of the class, and it's just a nice tear sheet. This one is several pages long, and you can see how all of the files are there. I'll zoom in, and so you can, in your tear sheet, you can show the original, what you did with it in Photoshop, and then what you actually compiled in Photoshop to make a nice composite image. Okay, same thing with Will Smith, and then the same thing with the background. You can see what you do there, and then that was just something. This was the way we used to do the web page, but now we do a different web page. But this was pretty much what you'll do, and this is an extra credit part. So some of you will actually get into the movie poster. Okay, but in 8 weeks there really isn't a whole bunch of time to do that. So let me turn off this. And let me show you now to end this. That was the first day handout. So if you ever have any questions, let me put my face back on the screen. If you ever have any questions, you just have to let me know. Okay, that's all you have to do. Now, I want to go back if I can get to that. Let me see if I kept it open. No, I don't think I did. Okay, I'm still looking. Oh, yeah, you know what? I had it right up here in, this is the portfolio. I already had it open. So this is a portfolio of what other students have done with their GPads. So let me zoom in a little bit on this, and then you can see if I go through it. Let me just go through it page by page. Let me see if I can do it this way. Okay. So I'm going to go just as I'm going to talk as I'm going through it. So it goes through all of the assignments. There might even be some movie posters in here, but remember this is an 8-week semester. So as you're seeing, let me even zoom in a little bit more. As you're seeing the students and their material, I may have to just center those on the screen. Okay, let me go down. Let me go down one, just so I don't have to do that. Okay, these are just what the other students have done. So a lot of creativity. Some students used my Jeeps, some students did their own thing, which was great. So these are some of the characters. These are not me, this is the students. And they do make me laugh. Wow. And they did a great job. Wow. And you will too. So this is the apple that some of the students did. And I just want to leave you with excitement. I want to leave you with the ability for you, with the understanding that you will gain ability as you go. Making mistakes is going to be okay. Look at these iPhones. They are superb. And these are student intro to Photoshop executions. They are great. And I do think I might stop here. Yes, I didn't include this because this was really the last project for the 8-week semester. So I kind of edited it down. But look at, I'm going backwards now. Look at these beautiful student pieces, beautiful portfolio work. These are students who also were a little nervous to get into Photoshop and to learn the techniques, but because you can watch my movies over and over again, everything's going to be fine. So that was the first day handout. This is a nice student portfolio, and I'll go back to page 1 as you can see it. And this student portfolio here will be available for you on Canvas, which is going to be the next movie. So I'll see you in movie 2.